Sure, you ready?
Sure.
Sure, ok. Euh, Madame, Monsieur, bonjour, bonsoir et bienvenue à cette nouvelle édition de la Témoignage. Cet espace, Mesdames, Messieurs, où vous aussi, vous pouvez venir pour témoigner la grandeur de Dieu, mais comme j'avais dit tantôt, ou capable de raconter une bail mystérieuse qui vivait dans la vie. Yon bagay qu'on pas espérer, même si un monde qui pas croire dans bon Dieu, mais pour raconter à l'autre monde bagay ça qui arrivé dans la vie là. Je
Mhm.
dis mesdames, messieurs, j'ont déjà constaté, nous gagnons, nous sommes capables de dire, yon petite de l'alma mater, et même yon petite de New Jersey, qui sous écran ensemble avec nous. Et
Mhm.
pour un peu le monde qui a regardé, même là, pas dire rien, il y a qui monde, parce que c'est une servante de la famille haïtienne, une servante de la communauté haïtienne. C'est un docteur
Mhm.
en ressources humaines. Cet appel, Mbap Caprel, malheureusement. Euh, Comme je disais tantôt, mesdames, messieurs, c'est un docteur en Human Resource Management. Elle a également un bachelor degree in Business Administration. Également, elle était Commander Career Counselor in the Navy.
Mhm.
En d'autres termes, elle a été un soldat qui défend la liberté que nous jouissons aux États-Unis. Et en plus ça, elle a été une conseillère pour les autres soldats. Donc, c'est cette femme dynamique, mesdames, messieurs, que nous avons à l'écran avec nous à la témoignage. Nous allons
Mhm.
parler de tout. Nous allons parler d'elle, nous allons parler de sa famille, ses œuvres dans la communauté, mais également nous allons parler de la grandeur de Dieu, puisque vous êtes
Amen.
à la témoignage.
Mhm.
Docteur Chris Lizaire, bonsoir. Ah, docteur Chris Lizaire Prinston, il ne faut pas
Yes.
l'oublier, extrêmement important.
Hello.
Bienvenue aujourd'hui à la témoignage. Je dois vous dire que vous êtes la troisième personne
Okay.
qui est venue à cet écran à l'espace de cette émission, la témoignage ou la testimony.
Testimony. Amen. I
Mais
love it.
d'habitude, moi-même, j'aime tutoyer les femmes.
Mhm.
S'il arrive que nous avons des lignes en français, en anglais, les mix, depuis me
Yeah.
dit you, I mean everything.
Sure. Of course. Of
But
course.
pour le créole, le français, assez souvent, faut choisir. Est-ce que tu vas tutoyer ou voudoyer la personne?
Sure.
J'aime tutoyer les femmes, mais
Mhm.
étant donné que vous êtes une femme mariée, un ministère dans l'évangile de Jésus-Christ, comment vous voulez que je m'adresse à vous?
Um, to be honest, due to your relationship with our family, I think it's okay to use the tu or whatnot because you have that relationship with our family. To us, you're not a stranger, so I think it's okay. It would not be disrespectful in any form.
D'accord. Donc, en ce moment, je te laisse le soin de saluer l'auditoire et très certainement de saluer les membres de notre famille, puisque c'est, quand je dis
Sure.
notre famille, c'est globalement la famille haïtienne qui est branchée à l'écoute de cette édition. Je te redis bonsoir et puis c'est le temps pour toi de saluer l'auditoire.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Pastor Chrisley. I know you're speaking in French, and it is proper for me to respond in French, but I did leave Haiti at a very young age. I did attend, when I was in Haiti, which is weird, I did attend Les Joyeux, which is a Canadian school. That's where I went. But the French kind of slipped away a little bit. Do I still hear
No,
it and
speak
understand?
any
Of
language you feel
course.
comfortable with,
I
because Mhm.
My Spanish is actually better than my French,
I
but
see.
I can definitely understand everything you're saying. But I just want to say hello to everyone, and I'm happy to be here.
Ok, je comprends exactement peut-être qui ça vous préférez adresser en anglais parce que moi-même également, pour avoir été et pour être un intellectuel, pour me
Mm-hmm.
parler anglais tout, très bien, mais
Mm-hmm.
toujours une certaine peur quand même pour me parler anglais parce que je connais qui ça le prend à l'école pour apprendre une langue. Il y a ce qu'on appelle la phonétique de la langue. Là où tu as centré dans la langue comme ça, parce que tu as déjà un bagage intellectuel, ou pas t'apprendre le B à bas de la langue, ou
Mm-hmm.
mettre dim sordi, ou te mettre pigo intellectuel qui existe dans le monde ça, à
Sure.
chaque trois phrases ou fait, il y a deux là-dedans qui ont un problème.
Of
Soit
course.
prononciation ou bien
Go.
problème grammatical.
Mm-hmm.
Mais
Yep.
cependant, just to put you in your ease, we are going to conduct this interview in English.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. I truly appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You asked me to play a song that
Mhm.
is wrote by your father. I
Yes.
know he is a musician, not just a musician, but a good one,
Mhm.
because he has been at the school of one of the greatest musicians we have in Haiti.
Yes.
This song is written by your dad. I understand that very well. That's not a surprise for me. But you cited one name that take my attention when
Mhm.
you said that it has the touch of Ancito.
Yes.
I would like to ask you how the Ancito
Mhm.
are, because
Mhm.
I know the big Ancito.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ansiopea.
yeah, he has like a stroke, something like
Yes.
this.
Yes,
Can
he
you
did have
tell
a
us
stroke.
what's your relationship with them and
Yes.
give us a little news about not only the Tioncito who helped
Mhm.
with that song, but the big Ancito?
Sure. My mother is um, actually, well, let's go back. My grandmother, Germaine Wokour, is the sister of Lilian, right? And Eva. So my great grandparents had 12 kids. And Ancito is actually the son of one of my aunts. So he's my cousin,
I
Ancito
see.
Pe.
I
Yeah,
see.
so he's my cousins on my mother's side. My grandmother and his grandmother are sisters. So Tante Leah is his um, grandmother, and Tante Claudie is his mom, and Tante Claudie is still living. Which is funny because on my father's side, I have the Christian and the church and all of that. And on my mother's side, I have Ancito. So it's kind of like, I have kind of like the best of both worlds, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yes, he did have a stroke. So, yes, he's my family on my mother's side. We are very close. I don't know if you remember the song Weekend Digital. I was supposed to be in the
Hmm.
video.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
My dad did not agree. So I was pretty upset about that, but everything happened for a reason because look, now I am in ministry. So thank
Yes.
God there's no
Yes.
archives of me dancing at the beach in a bikini or anything. So God always do things the way that he wants
For a
things.
reason.
But yes, he had a stroke while I was in Dominican Republic. He is actually doing a lot better than he was.
Mhm.
His right side, he's able to just kind of like play a little bit with his, hand.
Mhm.
When he sees me, he does recognize me. He does remember things that we do. So, for example, like we were somewhere, it was like Fête des Handicapés or something, and Télé Nationale took Muntila, and it was me that was that took him.
Mhm.
And they were giving out some, little hors d'oeuvres, Haitian hors d'oeuvres and snacks. And then I didn't take any. And this was right after his stroke.
Mhm.
And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, Papa." And I was like, "I'm okay." He was like, "Oh, Padinette," So he still has a little bit of ability. He's still that person that we all
Mhm.
love,
Mhm.
and he's doing good. What can we say but continued prayer?
Mhm.
What people don't understand is that what I understand is no matter here in America, you have the artists. They're able to go to the award shows. They're able to do things. They say, first thing, I want to thank God. But in our community, if someone decides that as their job, they want to play secular music, automatically people exclude them from prayer and people exclude them from the church and people look at them like they're completely the devil when they pray as well.
Mhm.
Fiancito
Mhm.
has this Bible plan that he reads that he shares with me.
I see.
They do pray.
Mhm.
So
No,
that
I
is
know. I know that.
that is one thing that we need to remove that misconception.
Mhm. Mhm. But when I learned that he has that stroke, that was very painful for me
Sure.
because he is one
Mm-hmm.
of the Haitian artists
Legends.
that I appreciate a lot. But
Well, we thank
also,
you.
my last thinking about the stroke, I said, it looked like this guy blocked his brain because he plays so fast the keyboard.
Um,
I even asked, is it a human brain that process those notes that
yeah,
quick?
yeah.
You know?
It happened in a rehearsal and it happened
Hmm.
very quickly.
Hmm. You
Thank
see?
God, they
Mhm.
were able to fly him to Cuba for treatment. He
I
was in
see.
Cuba for a very long time, and
Hmm.
if it were not for the Cuban doctors, he probably would not be alive today.
I understand.
He had a trachea that was
Hmm.
removed while he was in Cuba. So we thank God for that.
Hmm. Dr. Chris Lee, uh,
Yeah,
I have learned you left New Jersey at a very young age,
I did.
probably 18 years old. But can you tell us at what age you left Haiti itself?
Interesting. I had released it, which is funny because a lot of people just see me. Well, they saw me. A lot of people think they know me and they know my story. That's what they say. Like we say in church, you see my glory, but you don't know my story.
Ah
Amen.
oui, ah oui.
So a lot of people, when they saw my father migrate to Asbury Park, they thought that this is when we came here. I
Mhm.
actually came here with some missionaries back when I was 5 or 6 years old to Battersville, Oklahoma, and
Mhm.
that is the first place that I moved was to Battersville, Oklahoma. I believe that God was preparing me then for
Mhm.
international ministry. I was not in Asbury Park that was not the first place that I migrated. I was in Battersville, spent some time in Maryland with some of our my dad's missionary friends, which I call Uncle Gabe. My father's friends in Battersville, Oklahoma, whom are also missionaries that I lived with. Papa Oaks from the Light Church Fellowship. They are the ones that were over my father's mission. And then later on, I missed my dad, because they sent me there to live. I missed my dad, and I practically begged and cried for me to go back home to Haiti, where that's why I tell people some people feel like this is the greatest place on earth to be. Some of us had to come here. Some of us did not want to come here. Some of us, if we could, we would be home. So it wasn't to me like, oh, well, I'm in America and it's the greatest place to be. I wanted to be home with my family. So I begged the missionaries to send me back home to my dad. And, my dad picked me up from the airport and I was back in Haiti. So that was the first time. I was
Mhm.
about 5 or 6 years old.
Mhm.
And then I stayed in Haiti up until I was about 11 years old. At 11, I came back. And that's when I came to stay with my Aunt Maggie. Shout out to my Aunt Maggie. So I came to stay with my Aunt Maggie here. And then right after, my father came with David.
Mhm.
That's how that happened. And then I think I stayed for I stayed a couple years, I guess, some of my decisions my dad didn't really like. He sent me back to Haiti. I came back, and then I left at 18 to go to California, Fort Irwin, California, and I did not look back since.
But you travel at the age of 5 for the first time, and there is one Haitian artist that said that chance pour moi m'parti depuis l'em te tout petit.
Mm-mm,
It's Dadou Pasquet. He said it's I was very lucky that I left Haiti since
mm-mm,
I was very young.
mm.
He think that was a chance for him. What
That's
about
not
you as a woman
that
of
is
God?
not all of our stories.
Okay, but do you think it's a gift from God? It's something God has done for you, or do you think it was just a luck also that you travel at that young age?
To leave your home country is a gift
Yes,
from
to
God.
see another country. Do you think
I
it
mean,
was a luck?
I used to travel because my dad used to come to do like what do you call it, revivals. So we
Hmm.
were traveling. We were traveling. David was traveling since he was a baby. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I remember there was
Mhm.
a Haitian, there was a brother at the church in Peggyville when we got back from the U.S. one time. He was like, after service, and he was like, "We get visa," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Your ball gaspy on visa." Like he just felt like he should have had one because as a kid, if he came here, he would have had so many opportunities. But you got to think that is not all of our stories.
Mhm.
Not all of us migrate to the U.S. for an opportunity. Some of us had to migrate because of a certain situation, because of insecurities. It is not the U.S. is not a savior of people. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Mhm. To tell you the truth, that my perspective by asking you that question,
Mm-hmm.
because to travel when you were a baby at the age of 5,
Mm-hmm.
do you know some people since they're 18, maybe before they left school, the only project that they have is to leave Haiti, and they have not been able to do that.
And that's why they're not able to progress
Hmm.
where they are because they are so focused on the US that
Hmm.
they're not able to do anything. Just like in the reverse. I
Hmm.
said it, I think last week in one of my posts.
Hmm.
People who migrate here and who are very focused on who they were back home
Hmm.
are not able to go
I
here.
see that in your post.
Yeah, they're
Because
not able.
before this interview, I was
Mhm.
sneaking
Yeah,
in the
because
post that
they're
you
so
used to do.
focused on moi te ceci, moi te cela in
Hmm.
Haiti, my guy, kunya the time that they're spending on focusing on what they used to be, they could use that time, focus on that time to go to school,
Hmm.
rebuild a life. I have a friend of mine, his name
Hmm.
now is Senior Chief Guillaume. Shout out Guillaume, he's in the Navy. Guillaume came here, he was something back home, right? He came
Hmm.
here, but he didn't look on that. He rebuilt his life, went back to school, got his MBA, joined the military. You see what I'm saying?
I see
But
a
then you
lot of
got
work.
people who've been here for years, but any little bit of money they make at their dead end job,
Hmm.
they'll take it and go do something and go show off in Haiti.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
They'll go show off in Haiti
It,
and then come
it's
back here
it's
and
so
be stuck in that.
pervasive that I think it's become a culture
Of
in the
course.
just Haitian diaspora.
And it's not right, and that's, I think, as people like me, and we are to be able to educate people and say, hey, if you focus on a goal here, you definitely can achieve it here. Because when I was getting ready to go to the Navy, I had people in Asbury telling me, no, 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 go to Gumman Pool. Had I listened to
We're
them,
gonna come to that. We're gonna
yeah,
come to that. But
yeah,
I don't want to lose my perspective.
sure.
I still want to know if when your brother David Travel has a baby, you at the age of 5, uh, now as a woman of God, and even before, do you consider that like a luck, or do you consider that like the grace of God?
I do believe that, anytime you get an opportunity to visit a different country, it's an eye opener.
Hmm.
So there are people who are, for example, you have people who have to take extreme measures to get here to the US. So to be able to, my dad at that time, to be able to get us visas and stuff is definitely grace of God, for
Grace
sure.
of God. Thank you. God is great.
Yes,
I would say, as somebody who has now a lot of American culture, you would say all the time when I say God is
all the
great.
time. God is good all the time.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Now, you just mentioned that you have been in the army, not
The Navy.
the navy, not like a regular soldier, because of your bachelor in business administration. You have been a commander career counselor. Can you tell us what does it take for a woman to be in the army?
Navy.
What was your experience, and at what age did you go
Okay.
there?
Well, I'll tell any young woman who wants to do something positive in their lives to go to the Navy.
Okay.
I had a great experience. I traveled a lot. I've been to places that till this day I now see people posting. I think I was talking to someone 2 weeks ago, and I saw, I guess because you're on social media and you see some people posting things, and I saw some of the young girls now posting on an helicopter, near an helicopter, and I'm thinking, I've been on one when I was like 20, coming from Djibouti going back to the ship. So to me, that's not something that is, I've seen those things before, done them before. What does it take? It takes you wanting to do something positive in your life, and you have to take the ASVAB. Nothing is given to you. The military is not for everybody. You have to do well on your ASVAB. You have to know what you want.
Mhm.
Nobody can join the military as a command career counselor. That is a rank that is a position that you get after you become an NCO.
Right.
So prior to, I was in Airedale, so I worked in aviation, but
And
if you want something,
what is the NCO stand for?
a non-commissioned officer. So
Okay,
the Army has sergeants, the Navy, we have petty officers.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But you mentioned that it would be always a good thing for young women to join
I
the
think so.
army. But what do you think about young men joining
I,
the
I,
army?
I want to make sure, Bernard, that we get it right because I am a stickler for making sure I get the right branch. I would never join the Army.
Uh,
I will always join the Navy if I had to
oh,
do
the
it all
Navy.
over again.
Hmm.
It is a branch that uses your brain more than your body.
I heard that a lot.
It's a
Yeah.
very good branch. So,
And even in the community at large, when you said I'm from the Navy, they give you more
of
consideration as a
course,
veteran.
I mean, we're not going
Mhm.
to diss other veterans, but let's just make sure that we know that I was in the correct branch. And I would say it was the best branch for me.
Mhm. And did you ever have the chance to fly a plane or to maneuver?
No, that
Mhm.
wasn't my rate.
Okay.
My rate did not involve that, but we did load as an Airedale. I did have to load bombs into the jets, the F-14 Tomcats. So before I became a career counselor, that's what I kind of did. Worked the VVL fuels and things like that on the
Hmm.
yeah, memories there.
I
I was a
see.
young sailor, but my last, as I got, older, and My last, what I've done the most as of recent, and most of my time in the military was command career counseling, counseling sailors. Because you have two things: you have the recruiters; those are the ones who bring them in the military, and then the career counselors are the retention team, right? So we retain you in the military. So after the recruiters send you, my job is to retain you, whatever it takes to make you happy. If it's a bonus, whatever, that's what I would process. So that's pretty much what I did. So no, I did not fly a plane, but I did process a lot of enlistments for sailors and things like that.
Mhm. I have just thought that while you have been there, your father, as a man of God, must have been praying for you every day. Do
Uh,
you did you know any moment you feel that you were not alone?
all the time. There were times where, because this was before the internet, and you had to have access to a POTS line, and whenever you were able to call home, I would call home. And I remember when we were in Kosovo, um, there were times, depending on where we are, we couldn't say exactly where we are, and I would call home, and my father would be like, "Tell me where you are," and I said, "I can't." And then he'd be like, "Dis-moi Creole."
Mhm.
And of course my mom was worried about me. Everybody was worried because I'm the only well, in my close knit family, I'm the
Mhm.
only female that went to the military.
I see.
Hmm.
Now we're gonna come
Grandmother,
back.
Sally side, everybody was worried,
Mhm.
you know.
Now we're gonna leave Kosovo. We're gonna leave the Navy. We're gonna
Hmm.
come back to the community.
Hmm.
What are you doing at the DFACS and the
Hmm.
Atlanta Food Bank? What are you doing there?
Ah, okay. Well, as you all know, I don't know if you know, but my grandmother, she was a humanitarian.
Mhm.
Selisa. I grew up watching her feed tons of people. And a lot of times, sometime when she would cook, even in Haiti, I would say, "Why you cook so much?" She would say, "Depi ou gen moun, de fò toujou fè an pil manje, paske ou pa kon ki moun ki malere kap vini, epi yo
Mhm.
kap bezwen manje," or something like
Mhm.
that. So, and then she used to have the ladies at the church, what do you call them? That missionnaire. They used to be making
That
like
missionnaire.
huge, I'm talking like huge chaudières. They look like drums, like huge pot of food. And she used to take them to Sydney, Bedet, like the hospitals, the prisons. And she always fed people. So it's always been instilled in me to feed people and to help people. So when my grandmother passed, a few years back, I decided to honor her with a nonprofit called the Pelagi Foundation. And we started feeding a lot of people here in Georgia. And we would go through 10,000 pounds of food a week that we were getting from the Atlanta Community Food Bank. And we also now we help them with furniture. So if somebody just moved here or they're coming out of a battered situation, we're able to get them a household full of furniture. We do some kind of like utility payments when we do have funding. You know how that works. Well, because of the work that I've done with Pelagi, I was able to land a contract with the Atlanta Community Food Bank itself. So now, what I do with the Atlanta Community Food Bank, and I'm glad that I'm talking to you as
Mhm.
someone from the Haitian community, is that we screen for public benefits, and the public benefits are, and this is a grant that was allowed for us to do that. It so although there's the food pantries available and people can go to the church, but a lot of times, especially with the Afghan refugees and people coming, they don't have a lot of pantries don't have halal meats and they don't have halal products. So
Mhm.
we're able to help them get their public benefits, so the food stamps, Medicaid, those kind of things, any kind of public benefits, and that's in partnership with DFACS. Georgia, they call it DFACS. I'm not sure what they call it in New Jersey. I think it's, what is the public benefit office in New Jersey?
It's the human services or the
Human. Yes.
social
Department of,
division, yeah.
yes,
Social
yes.
service division,
There
or
you go. There
division
you
of
go.
social service.
There you go. And here in Georgia,
Hmm.
we call it Department of Family and Children Services, so DFACS. That's what I do. I process public benefits. I go to different sites. The Atlanta Community Food Bank has 750 sites, so I go to
Wow.
at least 3 different sites a week, and I process public benefits. And then also, because I'm at the Atlanta Community Food Bank, let's say somebody want to open a pantry or something,
Hmm.
there, if they call me, I can just say, hey, I'll send everything over to the partner relations department. I myself, besides my pantry, I have helped open at least 5 food pantries here in Georgia.
Hmm. That's a good experience. I know what you are doing because I can say this is about one of the branch I'm working with in New
Oh
Jersey.
wow! No
They,
way!
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's very
Wow!
powerful, and sometimes I assume when you are working, you feel that you just continue your ministry.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
yeah.
It is definitely what it feels like. And with the food bank having so many sites, I'm still able to not just process their benefits, but make sure they have food as well. So, and I'm continuing the legacy that my grandmother started.
That's a great one. Now, Dr. Chrisley, we are going to switch a little bit
Okay?
because as stated before, this show is about to explain the greatness that God has done in our life, but
Sure,
also the greatness we just met in our life. Whatever we don't believe in God, if we are
sure.
believe in God, it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
And when I called you for that interview, you stated that you would like to play Brother Gabby. This is,
Regab,
yeah, Fregab. This is an excellent singer.
yes. Are
We
you
are
familiar? Are
going,
you familiar with him?
I'm familiar with him. We are
Awesome.
going to play him. And after that, I would like you to tell us
Sure.
one of our experience of great thing that God has done in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
All right.
Then
Awesome.
we're gonna let Brother Gabby play,
Yes.
and we're
Let
gonna
my
come
crew
back.
hear.
Voilà, c'était donc le frère Gabi, tombé diable. Donc,
Yes.
quel est, what is the message that is the most important for you in that song?
It just really talks up, it just kind of like, really, it's a song that shuts the enemy down. It's not, you know what, when Kirk Franklin said, for those who think that gospel music has gone too far. And that's what people are thinking about Frère Gab when they hear him. He has so many great songs, and it's just a different vibe. It's not just what you think, but it's just an enemy that can really it's just a song really that can shut the enemy down, to let them know, hey, we're not playing with you. And we got you in every kind of beat that you think, they have out there, we got it too.
That's true. And with this song, Dr. Chrisley, I would like you to tell us.
Hmm.
I know there are many,
Sure.
but among of them, can you tell us one of the great things that God has done in your life?
Of course. As a pastor, I tell people all the time, anytime you have greatness or purpose in you, the enemy, the first thing he's going to do is try to shut you down, and he'll try to shut you down quick. So
Mhm,
because God already, they say, your life is already predestined. You might not know it, but it's already predestined.
mhm,
And at birth, the enemy knew that I was going to be trouble for him and his
mhm,
kingdom.
mhm,
So I was born with, the Bible says the enemy come to still kill and destroy. So at birth, I was born with 90% chance to die and 10% chance to live. I was born on a Friday and I was supposed to die on a Monday. But what happened with that, when they gave my father the diagnosis, he would not accept it.
mhm,
He would not accept it, and it was a time where they were not allowing men in the birthing center, and so the enemy already tried to take me out before
mhm,
I even started. So when the doctors told him, he said, I want to go in there and I want to pray for the baby. And they said, you can't go in there. And my dad said, I need to go in there. So
mhm,
they gave him his blues or whatever. He said he put right then and there, he put one hand on the crib and one hand towards heaven.
mhm,
And he called out to God and he said, God, you are the one who gave me this child. So he did his prayer and he said he called on his doctor and on his miracle worker. And that Monday happened, but yet I'm still here in 2022. So to me, if I were to just start saying what God is doing, I can probably get up and just start shouting. But that is one of the greatest miracles because that is the first miracle.
mhm.
And that is one of the reasons why I'm still alive today.
Wow, that's
Hmm.
great. God is
Yeah.
great.
All the time. All the
All the
time.
time, God is
Yes,
great.
sir. Yes, sir.
You know, now the other song that you asked me to play, that song that is written by
By my
your dad,
father. Yeah.
the Doctor Alex
Yes.
Lizaire,
And
man
you
of
know what?
faith,
What
of
a lot of people don't
courage.
know is
Hmm.
that he wrote a lot of songs. He's a songwriter, he's a playwright, he's a
Hmm.
musician.
Hmm.
So growing up, we always knew the songs that he wrote, and we always said that we wanted to bring them to life. En pile l'église des fois chanter, but we wanted David and I, and then I called my cousin for help. We wanted to do something to put it out so that the people can hear. Some people don't know that my father wrote it. So
Hmm.
today, that's what I'm letting everybody know. He wrote that probably before I was even born, but it just got some Ciancito twist, some David twist to it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, where is David now? Where is he's
David
living?
is in New Jersey,
New Jersey.
and Ans is in Dominican Republic.
But I have to let you know that he is very rare to find.
Yes, I know. I know. I
But I
know.
understand he is a music teacher. He
Yes,
has a wife also
sure.
to share
That's
life
it.
with.
That's it. We both are very rare to find.
I see. Now we are going to play the song written by your father, Can you tell us the title of this song?
The song is called Ou di ke nou gen lwa.
Mhm,
Parce que moun yo pran Saint-Esprit, gen moun ki di se lwa l gen.
mhm.
Musique la se ou di ke nou gen lwa, mais c'est Saint-Esprit nou gen. Yeah.
Do you, I don't know how to say that. I say souvent, in Creole, we say, ou manifester.
Ouais, lò manifeste, de fwa le moun nan manifeste, gen moun ki di, ou
Mhm,
bien, if you can look at it, de
mhm,
fwa fò telman bien mache,
mhm,
right? Même moun l'Église di, there's no way. You oubliye Philippians 4 verse. They forget about Philippians 4 verse 19, who says, "My
mhm,
God shall supply all my needs
mhm,
according to His riches and glory." And then what they say is, "That's if you're doing good. Your things is moving
mhm,
forward, and you believe in your God, and you have that faith." So even Christians will then say, "Son point la l'acheter ou bien l'ou al servi qui fait tout
mhm,
à fait la marché."
mhm,
So that's why the song my father said, "Nous pas dire goût ferraille, mais nous rele Saint-Esprit." So that is who
Saint-Esprit.
we worship. That is the person who is making sure. Pa gen moun ka l'acheter point.
Mhm,
So ma conduit machine, okay, ou bien whatever. If I ain't got to work, if God now took a little girl from Asbury Park and made her the lender and not the borrower, it was not because of a law or
mhm,
nothing that my family
mhm.
did. It was strictly Philippians 4:19.
And in this passage, you meet me in a reflection that I did in Village show, where I stated that the grace of God
Yes,
is something very special. This is a
yes,
supernatural
sure. God's
gift that He
favor is
gives to
unfair.
us that human being can not even understand what it
That's
is,
it.
and
That's it.
that when they start telling, oh, those people they are not good people. That's not
That's
normal
right.
for somebody
That's right.
stating that they are Christian.
Because
Something is
some
wrong.
people believe if you're a Christian, you have to be
Mhm.
broken. The God has not called us to be
That's not
broken.
true at all. Now we are going to play that song, and
Hmm.
after when we come back, I would like you to tell us about the name that is in the back of your head,
Ah,
Pelagie Foundation,
okay.
and then I think that will conclude our interview for today.
Very well. Thank
All
you.
right. Now the song written by your father,
The great
and you are the
apostle.
person who sing that song, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Somebody shout glory to his name. Yeah. Ou di ke nou gen lwa, paske nap servi gran wa. Men lwa nou se
Good music, huh?
Thank you. Ki ban nou le Saint-Esprit. Saint-Esprit bi fwa ke gwo lwa. Seigneur nou ban nou Dio sa, nous sonnons la Jean.
Dr. Kisley, you wanted to say something?
No, 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 no. Saint-Esprit before que loi. Seigneur nous ban nous Saint-Esprit. Nous toutes les vivre Seigneur. Seigneur nous c'est un grand roi. Nous pas gain loi. Seigneur nous c'est un grand roi. Nous pas gain loi. Yo essayé pour yo détruire. Détruire la vie. La vie petite moi. J'ai les bagages vraiment rien. Li campé. Et moi connais. Quel caille encore. Ça va marcher. Moi là toujours. Saint-Esprit a protégé. L'éternel dis la loi. Dis la loi. Seigneur nous ban nous Saint-Esprit. Nous toutes les vies Seigneur.
Dr. Kisley, with the music in background, can you tell us a little bit about Pelagie Foundation?
Yes, Pelagie Foundation is the family's nonprofit. Pelagie was my grandmother. A lot of people have known her as Lisa, but here in the nonprofit world and in the community, Pelagi is part of Greater United Way 211. It is a well recognized agency here in Atlanta. So, but it is Pelagi, if you see the name, was my grandmother's name. Her name was Lisa Pelagi Lizaire. So we
Okay.
started the nonprofit to honor her
Okay.
and her good works. And, she continues to live through the good that we do.
Voilà, Dr. Lizaire, we are come to the conclusion of the interview today.
Sure.
Is there anything particular, anything special you would like to let us know, to share, whatever it is, an announcement, whatever it is you want to share with the audience?
Um, that's it. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to, familiar face. Again, my ties to Asbury are pretty small, and it's just really good to have that. I pastor Nazareth Church in Atlanta, Georgia. So anytime if anyone fly to Atlanta that would like to visit our church, it's 2088 Idlewood Road, Tucker, Georgia. So you know, I'm available and thank you all and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Chrissy Lizer.
You're
I'm gonna
welcome.
try to see if the next personality that's gonna be in the screen can be the Dr. Alex Lizer.
Ah, okay,
If you
sure.
can pass the news for me to him,
I definitely will let
if
him
you can
know.
even give me a little call so we can plan that, that
Definitely.
would be marvelous.
Well, God bless you and thank you for all you do for your community.
You're very welcome, Dr. Lisa. Have a good night, a good weekend, good Sunday, and good service.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Bye.